Thursday, November the 4th, rail track profits soar, fears over new safety expert. B bans Cliff, about bloody time. Chris and Jerry, ugly bloke dates fat lookalike. He's a freak, he's unique, he's been here all week. It's Iain Lee.
And welcome to the 11 o'clock show. Blimey, did you just see that? If you just tuned in, I'm afraid you've missed Channel 4's first on-screen ejaculation. It's true. Well, from this side of the screen anyway, because let's be honest, every time Carol Vorderman comes on the telly, so do I. True. Absolutely true. Two from the top and one from the bottom. But don't worry if you missed it. Channel 4 will be repeating the ejaculation show. Not straight away, obviously. The programme needs a fag and a bit of a lie down first. But, of course, love is in the air, quite literally at the moment, with the great ginger romance. Cynics might say the couple who share the same PR company are engaged in nothing more than a publicity stunt. And they both need the public... Well, I didn't make a joke then. What are you laughing for, sir? Didn't say anything funny, just a sentence. But they do both need the publicity. 27-year-old Jerry has a single to sell. 27 in dog years, maybe, but... But it's not... We've only got half an hour, let's get through this. It's not the first time that Chris Evans has put himself in the papers this week. A few days ago, he tried to win public sympathy by revealing he had a dangerous stalker. Sadly, the only person to receive fan mail was the stalker. But maybe he's trying to do the world a favour. I don't know. But Jerry recently said she'd been celibate for a year because sex stills my creativity and I wanted to put every drop into the album. No, Jerry, I've heard your album. If sex really does still your creativity, I can only suggest you've spent the last few months going at it hammer and tongs. And now, please give a TFI welcome. Thank fuck, it's Daisy Donovan. It's scary, huh? So, Daisy, are you surprised that Chris and Jerry have hit it off?
Not really, Iain. I mean, Chris has been very good to her. When she left the Spice Girls, he was there to comfort her. They stayed up all night drinking tea and dunking ginger nuts. Then she played with his balls.
Daisy, tell us what's coming up in tonight's show.
We ask, is time running out for the Labour Party?
Can I ask, why do you vote Labour?
Well, that's a very good question. Is there how long have you got? I mean,
about 20 seconds.
And we'll be chatting to sweet-talking weather girl Sian Lloyd.
F***ing hell.
Now here's the headlines. And tonight's main stories. Speculation is rife about the Chris Evans-Jerry Halliwell romance. In particular, what's it like when two huge egos have sex? Well, apparently afterwards they turn to each other and say, "How was it for me?"
Chris has said that after bedding Ginger, he's hoping to have a baby. A scary, a sporty, then a posh. Basically the set, I think.
Following speculation that the love affair was nothing more than a stunt to create some good publicity for two flagging stars, Railtrack announced it was going out with Marks & Spencer.
Railtrack bosses have announced a £236 million profit. A spokesman said it sends out the wrong signal. We asked a driver for his opinion, and he said, what signal?
Cliff Richard's new single, Millennium Prayer, has been banned by the BBC. Some by the decision, so Cliff received support from Britain's tiniest fan.
The message this song is giving us, the Lord's Prayer. How could they ban it, for goodness sake?
Well, exactly, how could they? There again, I call it victimisation on Cliff.
Lady! New statistics reveal that 1 in 40 of Britain's motorists are driving without a licence. But be warned, not all of them are as easy to spot as these offenders.
Bloody women drivers. And those are tonight's headlines.
Now, the big news this weekend, will Australia dump the Queen and go it alone?
Here's Alex Lowe with his special report on the Australian referendum.
In 24 hours' time, Australians will face the biggest constitutional crisis since Prime Minister Paul Keating copped a feel of the Queen's arse. On Saturday, the Australian people will decide if they want to retain the Queen as head of state or abolish the monarchy and vote in a president. In a recent poll for president, the people's first choice was rock star and asphyxie wank casualty Michael Hutchence. On being told that he was now out of the running, they went for all the members of the band Men at Work. Monarchists fear that if Australia leaves the Commonwealth, they'll be missing out on a number of major events. The long wait for Edward and Sophie's first child, the 140 gold medals they always win at the Commonwealth Games, and that bank holiday when the Queen Mum finally dies. A yes vote would not only mean changes to the Constitution, but even to the country's currency. Republicans have this eventuality covered and already have an alternative currency prepared. The nation will also be voting on a separate patronising amendment to the Constitution. It intends to honour Aborigines for their deep kinship with their lands and for their ancient and continuing cultures without actually giving them any land back. Prime Minister John Howard denied that this amendment merely paid lip service to the plight of the Aborigine. Howard said he hoped to see the first Aborigine in office during his term. Cleaning desks, emptying bins, they're surprisingly hard work, as you know. Whilst our convict cousins down under may be shocked at constitutional reforms, change will not be too traumatic. Under the new constitution, they will still be permitted to sport the traditional mullet whilst going on and on and on about Christmas on the beach. Until Saturday at least, the Queen is safe. This is Alex Lowe, 11 o'clock show, Summer Bay, Australia.
There'll be more on that story later. Now here's some news just in.
A publican in Colchester has opened his own cemetery. Apparently, just before he buries the body, he asks, "Is this dead?"
According to a new report, snoring makes you crap in bed. Surely that's loose bowels.
As Glasgow council workers have been told they can keep their tickets for the England-Scotland match, the first bus leaves Scotland for Wembley.
Schoolboy Richard Thomas has failed in his legal action against his parents. He claimed they fed him chips every day, leaving him weighing 22 stone at the age of 12. Doctors say the boy was so fat his blood group was gravy.
At one point, his suffering was so great that he tried to call Childline. Unfortunately, he couldn't fit inside the phone box. Big fat kid.
The Scouting movement has announced that Canada will be home to the world's first gay scout troop. Instead of "be prepared," their motto will be "brace yourselves."
According to a new travel book, Darlington is the prostitute capital of the world. The writer, Bill Murphy, says, "Darlington women are incredibly loose." He adds that they are broad-thighed with tits to match and spotty or made up, but seldom both. His publicist said he hadn't intended to cause offence. But is it really the prosy capital of Europe? I went to Darlington to find out. And it is.
A man stole £100,000 worth of books over the internet and hoarded them at his Rochdale home. Police raided the house and read him his rights and 2 chapters of Treasure Island.
A man has paid £18,000 for the world's smallest Bible. He says he bought it because he's only a little bit religious.
The Reverend Iain Paisley has described a Belfast exhibition by Gilbert and George as an abomination tainting the sacred soil of Ulster. Mr Paisley is particularly upset by paintings which depict shit coming out of a man's arse, and not his mouth, as Paisley believes God intended.
And that was the news just in.
The world of news is a complicated place, isn't it, Iain?
Yeah, whatever.
But who can take us through the events of the last 7 days?
High score! Well, veteran DJ John Peel, who now joins us live from Radio 1. Thanks for joining us, John. Michael Portillo made a sensational return to the British political scene this week. Do you think he's a future Tory leader?
Well, I remember the first time that I actually met Michael Portillo was some time ago in Spain, actually. I'd hired a buggy, as far as I remember, and I think I was there with Bruno Brooks and Dave Lee Travis, and Dave Lee Travis insisted on driving around very quickly and shouting out, "Pour out the milk, ladies, here comes the cornflake," and, of course, no one... no one had any idea who he was.
John, I'm sorry to interrupt you there. Can you get back to the point, please?
Well, I remember we went to a rather garishly coloured cantina, actually, and amongst the kind of roadshow antics that were going on, I remember there was a rather exciting flamenco high-energy disco band, and I remember seeing that there was a young man there who was dancing around like a Pied Piper, in fact, very much dressed as that, and I think it was a young Michael Portillo, and...
Thanks to John Peel there for making it all so clear.
As we mentioned earlier in the show, Channel 4 made broadcasting history tonight by screening the first ever ejaculation on British TV. The scene was an essential part of Channel 4's highbrow series on pornography. But if you missed it, here's a reconstruction.
Leaves a nasty taste in my mouth. But the only things guaranteed to get more viewers than man juice are dinosaurs. The BBC have a massive hit on their hands, so that's the bandwagon we're jumping on. See you after the break. Welcome back to the 11 o'clock show.
First it was walking with dinosaurs, then it was hill walking with dinosaurs. Now it's time for hawking with dinosaurs. This week, the iguanodon.
Creepy.
And we have a brief update on the beef war. In a shock move, some cows interrupted a local news broadcast earlier to make their feelings felt.
If the visit to France is successful, Mr Amos is hoping he can persuade Brittany Ferries to...
Their message is clear: make love, not war.
There's a lot happening at the moment in Wales. The Rugby World Cup final takes place in Cardiff on Saturday.
Not to mention a phoenix-like rebirth of Welsh politics. It's all very exciting and baffling, especially if you're English and don't give a shit.
But who better to ask about it all than Welsh weather lovely Sian Lloyd? Sian, lovely to see you. Very nice.
Nice to see you, Iain.
Now, bless you, thank you. Now, a lot of people seem to think that you're nothing more than a weather girl, but you're not, are you? What else do you do?
Lots of various things, lots of different things,
Like
different
what?
programmes.
Tell me, Sian, you're lovely, go on.
Like, like watching you on telly.
Oh, really? I like watching you on telly as well, it's nice. Your weather reports are very accurate, I thought.
How would you sum up the characteristics of Welsh people?
We're warm. Hey, hang on. Just bear in mind, we shag them, you eat them.
Sian, you obtained a grade A distinction in your Met Office exam, but are you still qualified to tell us the nation's weather? We've got some questions for you from your Met Office exam paper. Name the most common cloud that produces thunderstorms.
Oh, that's got to be the sexy one, the cumulonimbus one.
Oh, yeah, I love that one.
Yeah.
They're my favourite clouds. Can you name 2 different types of fog?
Iain, you and I can pour over synoptic charts any time you like.
Yeah, I'd like to. Sian, I'd like to pour all over you if
Iain.
I could.
There's frontal fog.
Yeah.
And there's steam fog.
Yeah. Do you ever get fog from behind?
Both types are my favourite fog occur when there's a lot of moisture around.
I think I've just come.
But Sian, you don't just do weather, do you? Because you do this as well.
Sian, you're on our TVs every night. Do you have a bit of a huge following?
Well, you know, all relative, isn't not as huge as you've got.
No, talking about the following, not the size of your cock.
Somebody sent you their wedding picture?
Yes.
What was that about?
Well, they sent me their wedding picture with the head of their wife cut out and my head placed in instead.
Well, actually, we've got a copy of that one here. Now, Sian, you're a tabloid darling, but how much do you think you're worth? We've called up some of the red top papers, asked them how much they'd offer for pictures of you in different shocker scenarios. That's the first one. Sian, how much do you think they would offer for a picture of you in the shower with the entire Welsh rugby team?
50p.
50p. Oh, have you offered them that before, then? No, in fact, you're surprised. You're actually underselling yourself. It's worth £4,500.
Whoa.
How about a story of you mistreating animals? Sian Lloyd beats chimps with a stick at weekends. How much do you think that's worth?
£1?
No, the tabloids would actually pay £11,000.
Whoa!
Yeah. And finally, have some confidence
You're giving
in
me
yourself.
ideas here, Iain.
Really? You've given me plenty of ideas. I'll show them to you later on. Now, finally, what about you giving weather bully boy Bill Giles a taste of his own medicine? How much do you reckon that's worth? Bully boy Bill is my gimp. Would you believe that story is worth £15,000? Ladies and gentlemen, she's worth a lot more than she thinks. It's Sian Lloyd.
It was revealed today that 2 women who work for Eurostar were sent home for wearing trousers instead of skirts. Do you think women should be able to wear what they like, Iain?
Yep, whatever it is, as long as it makes them look horny.
But what do the British public think? I went to find out.
Skirts, trousers. It's a toss-up. No, it's not. It's a requirement. I'm here to make sense of it through questioning. I wonder if I can ask you some questions about a report out today that 2 women have been sacked from Eurostar for refusing to wear skirts.
I'm not interested, thank you.
It is because you are a man. Is a skirt just a pair of trousers?
What do you mean?
Is a skirt just a pair of trousers?
Not really, no.
Well, it is, because it's just shorter with one leg.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, think about it, isn't it?
So, yeah, I suppose it is, yeah.
Where am I going?
Towards me.
I'm a woman.
That's right.
And I'm going to work, right? Right. Now where am I going?
You're a woman going to work, the same.
Wrong.
With fair trade.
I'm a man and I'm joining the RAF as a dog fighter.
That's your choice.
What do women prefer about men? If they prefer, like to see men...
Enormous cocks.
Pardon?
Nothing.
So, what did you say?
Nothing. Who cooks your dinner at home?
Well, I cook my dinner at home.
That's very Gunga-Din.
I live kind of by myself at home, so I got to cook for myself.
Right. You obviously wearing a skirt, a dress. I'm resigning because I'm wearing a pair of trousers. So, thank you. If you could just wrap it up and hand back to the studio.
Now it's time to look at the week's winners and losers in good news, bad news. Bad news. Tickets for the England-Scotland game cost up to £1,000.
Good news.
Scottish fans won't be able to afford them. That'll learn them. Good news.
The IRA is threatening boy band Westlife.
Bad news.
There's a ceasefire. Bad news.
Ticky Leg Burke had a bag stolen containing her camera.
Good news.
We found it and developed the film, and here she is on her honeymoon in Rome. Here's one of Charles and Harry.
And to use up the film, here's a sneaky snap she took of the Queen Mother modelling her new incontinence suit. Aww.
And that was tonight's Good News, Bad News.
Last night, the Labour Party suffered their biggest rebellion since Robin Cook got drunk on Malibu and tried to do the dirty dance with Cherie.
Macarena. So, is this a blip in Labour's control freak culture or a genuine expression of grassroots feeling? To judge the mood, we sent Iain to the Labour Party conference.
Last week, the Lib Dems failed to stir my loins, so this week I've made the long, dangerous trek to Bournemouth to the Labour Party Centenary Conference. Let's see if they can cure my political impotence. So here we are, arrived at the Labour Party conference. Already there's been a bit of a mix-up. They've accidentally sent me this letter that accidentally bars me from going to any of the major events. Still, I won't let this deter me. That's not what I'm here for. I'm certainly not here to listen. I'm here to talk. And to then listen to the answers from the questions. Can I ask, why do you vote Labour?
Well, that's a very good question. Is there how long have you got? I mean,
about 20 seconds.
Is there anything good going for Labour Party at all, or is it all...
It seems to be running the country.
Adequately?
All I'll say is it seems to be running the country.
Adequately?
As you wish.
If I promised to join Labour right now, what would I get immediately?
What would I get immediately? Well, you'd find... You put me on the spot, haven't you, really? Yeah, okay. You cut it.
OK, lovely. But not everybody in Bournemouth seems to be pro-Labour. I thought I'd see if these simple country folk could influence my search for a political party.
We're here in Bournemouth at the moment, surrounded by a group of outraged farmers, and rightly so.
Leave these people to do their own job.
OK, listen, calm down. I agree, I totally agree. But I'm looking to join a political party. Should it be Labour?
Just whatever you think.
When would you think it would be right to use the C word and the G word in a discussion? I'm not going to say the word.
Your television has brought it to me.
Right. And your farms have brought CJD. It's the same sort of thing.
No, they have not.
Yes, they have.
No, they have not.
Yes, they have.
Prove it. You prove it.
I can smell alcohol. Have you been drinking?
I had a drink on the train down, that's all.
OK, that's fine.
That's all.
That's fine. That's fine. So there we have it. That's been the Labour Conference 99. And I must say, I'm kind of impressed with what I've seen. The majority of supporters are very passionate about their politics, and apart from one or two dissatisfied members, most of them support Tony Blair's vision of a new Britain. Next week, I'll conclude my political odyssey in Blackpool, where I'll see if Hague's Tories can put on such a well-managed, polished and slick show as the Labour Conference 99. This has been Iain Lee, the 11 o'clock show, Bournemouth. And for more on our main report, we go over now to Alex Lowe in Australia. Alex, how do you think the Australian people will vote, for or against the Queen?
Well, Iain, the government have said they will vote to retain the monarchy. Indeed, Prime Minister John Howard is so pro-monarchy that he plays polo, takes his kids fox hunting, and has isolated his young wife to such a degree that she had an affair with a kiss-and-tell twat called James.
And apart from Rupert Murdoch, have any other Australian personalities declared which way they'll vote?
Well, that woman from Neighbours is supporting the Queen.
Oh, really? Which one?
You know, the one with the gravelly voice and the suspiciously big hands.
You're not implying that Madge is a fella, are you?
No, not anymore.
Thanks very much, Alex Lowe in Australia.
Thank you.
And that's all from us tonight.
Just time to tell you, following last week's news that impressionist Mike Yarwood is on suicide watch, fears are now growing over the whereabouts of comedian Jimmy Cricket. Good night.
Good night.
Well, if you can bear to wait this long, the 11 o'clock show, The News Alternative, is back on Tuesday.